Do you like beans? No, not the high protein rich in fiber legume type, but the childish, immature English type who doesn't speak. I'm of course talking about Mr. Bean, who is probably one of the most recognizable characters in TV history. Rowan Atkinson, who plays Mr. Bean, is a global success and is undoubtedly the king of nonverbal comedy. If you didn't know about the show, which I really doubt you do, it follows Mr. Bean, who does everyday tasks in a very odd manner and finds very resourceful solutions to his problems. Since the original British sitcom aired in 1990, it became a huge hit and aired in over 245 countries. I used to have a few DVD compilations of them as a kid and would watch them constantly growing up and loved all of it. It can be enjoyed by anyone, any age, and any culture. He's simply the greatest. I even bet if you go to a remote place on earth like a village in Kazakhstan, even the locals will know who Mr. Bean is. Just ask them. Whoa. My name is Bharat. I like sex, but I like a Mr. Bean more. It's a very nice. I told you, everyone loves him. Although the original sitcom only had 15 episodes, it still remains extremely popular. Like even the Mr. Bean YouTube channel has 31 million subscribers and almost 3,000 videos, which is kind of crazy to think about because they managed to recycle 15 20-minute episodes into 3,000 videos and 10 billion views and still continue to upload daily. But I'm not here to talk about the sitcom. I really want to discuss Mr. Bean's Holiday, a Mr. Bean spin-off movie that came out in 2007 and a sequel to the 1997 Bean movie. Now I'm gonna say something very controversial here, but Mr. Bean's Holiday is in fact one of my favorite movies of all time. Now wait, before all the haters say, "But how is a comedy movie about Mr. Bean's Holiday with a measly IMDb score of 6.4 better than The Godfather or The Shawshank Redemption?" Like I said, this is one of my favorite movies, but I don't believe it's the best movie ever made by any stretch. The plot of the movie is essentially a crazy adventure movie that follows Mr. Bean, who wins a trip to Cannes, France, and things don't go according to his plan. If you think Mr. Bean had problems dealing with everyday people in England, just wait and see how he interacts with the French. Now before we get into the story, sit back, get comfortable, get some snacks, and like always, spoilers ahead. The movie begins with Mr. Bean entering a raffle to win a trip to Cannes, France, along with a video camera. He thinks he lost, but with some luck, the numbers were actually flipped and he wins. This is a huge win for the Bean community. And like everyone knows, when the Bean is happy, I'm happy. Also, fun fact, the girl controlling the train is actually Rowan Atkinson's real-life daughter. Upon arriving in Paris, he starts vlogging his holiday in his weird, unique Bean fashion. And bear in mind, this movie came out in 2007 before vlogging was even popularized. So Mr. Bean is in fact the original vlogger. He did it before it was ever cool. Parts of the movie are actually filmed in a point of view of his video camera, which I think is pretty funny, and you'll see that this will tie in very nicely at the end of the movie. Due to his overexcitement of sightseeing Paris, he accidentally takes the wrong taxi and ends up in a completely different part of France, and it's from this point that Mr. Bean's holiday adventure really starts. To get to Cannes, he plans out a perfectly straight route directly to the nearest train station. It won't let anything get in his way. I mean anything, not even traffic. This is what I love about Mr. Bean. He has a goal and won't let anything get in his way until he reaches it, no matter what the obstacles are. After almost getting hit by cars, he makes it to the train station and decides to eat French food. And with Mr. Bean, you never know what to expect. He ends up getting a massive seafood platter with oysters and shrimp. Now, if you're a real fan, you'll remember that Mr. Bean hates oysters because he accidentally ate rotten ones at his stay in a hotel from the room 426 episode. Not only was Bean the first vlogger, but he also invented seafood mukbang before it was trendy 10 years later. He really was a trendsetter and a visionary. He ends up pretending to eat them before dumping them in a woman's purse and running away when her phone rings. Before he enters the train, he asks a stranger to record him for his vlog, but ends up making him miss the train and letting his son alone. The kid's name is Stepan and he only speaks Russian. Bean feels so bad for what he did, so he decides to cheer him up, which is one of the funniest parts of the whole movie. They probably had to reshoot this scene so many times for Stepan to keep a straight face the whole time. They get off the next stop and it's good to see Bean recognize the gravity of the situation he caused and even take protective measures for the young child when a stranger approaches him. They see his dad on the next train with a phone number, but he covers 2 of the digits. So Bean decides to put his goal of reaching Cannes on pause and dedicates his time to finding this boy's father by calling every possible number. With no luck on the first few numbers, they hop on the next train, but things just keep getting worse. Bean leaves his wallet and suitcase outside, and with no money left, they are kicked off. Bean and Stepan beg strangers for quarters, but this doesn't last too long. Using a payphone, they actually end up calling his father's phone, but unfortunately a maid picked up instead. I'll be honest, Stepan's father is kind of an idiot. He had one chance to show his son his number, and when his moment to shine arrived, he covers 2 of the digits. Also, why wouldn't he just ask the train to stop to get his son? I'm sure they would understand the situation. And if he's expecting an important call from his son, why would he not have his cell phone in his hand desperately waiting for a call instead of letting his maid respond? Anyways, I still love this movie even with the small plot holes. Broken and starving, they decide to put on a show for the people. Bean dancing to Mr. Bombastic never fails to make me laugh out loud.
She call me Mr. Bombastic, tell me fantastic, touch me on me box, she says I'm Mr. Rowe.
It's perfect, and I don't think anyone else but him could have pulled it off.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
But it's his lip-syncing opera performance that gets the crowd excited, and he puts on an award-winning performance. They become a huge hit and make enough money to buy bus tickets and food. But just when things start to get back on track, Bean loses his ticket and he gets stuck on a chicken's foot. Now, a normal person would just go and buy another ticket, but as we know, Bean isn't so normal. Instead, he borrows a bike and chases after the chicken on a bicycle in the French countryside. He risks his life by hanging onto a moving car to catch up, and he casually bikes past professional cyclists. At this point, you can't even hate him. You have to admire Bean's dedication to the bus ticket that he could have just bought another one. And during this scene, the song Crash by Matt Willis is playing, and it just fits this scene so well, and it feels oddly nostalgic, especially if you watch this movie as a kid. Unfortunately, things get even worse for Bean. He can't find the chicken, and his bicycle gets crushed by a tank, but thankfully his video camera is saved. Why is there a tank in the middle of nowhere on the road, you ask? Well, you will find out soon. Bean is now stuck in the middle of nowhere with no food, money, or transportation, but he has one thing: hope and dedication. Fortunately for him, an old man on a motorcycle decides to hitchhike, but upon closer inspection, this man is riding some slow scooter from the 50s. Bean decides to pull a Grand Theft Auto on the old man, but gets kicked off, which is hilarious.
I'm joking. Stop. Stop the brake. Stop.
With no other options, he decides to walk. He then wakes up in a nice peaceful village, but what's this? A tank rolls up and blows up a house. Bean leaps to save a lady from the Nazis. Okay, it's not a real war, but Bean somehow made it on a set of a World War II production, which has the same tank that crushed his bicycle earlier. If you think about it, he's actually a hero for sacrificing his life to save the damsel in distress. I really think Mr. Bean has PTSD from tanks. First, it destroyed his prized possession, his iconic green Mini, then his bicycle, and now he almost dies from an explosion. You might be thinking, what kind of movie are they filming with such a high production value about World War II? Could it be a war movie like Saving Private Ryan? Nope, all this is for a raspberry yogurt commercial. And the director for this commercial is Carson Clay, played by Norman Osborn. I mean Willem Dafoe.
You know, I'm something of a director myself.
He acts like a frustrated, over-the-top American who's a bit of a perfectionist and screams a lot about explosions.
Where's my explosion?
I think he's supposed to be some sort of parody of Michael Bay. Then, somehow Bean gets cast as one of the Nazi soldiers as an extra. In the costume room, he is getting into character, and the part where he does a Nazi salute without knowing what it means gets me every time. It reminds me of the time he thought the middle finger was a sign to say hello to people. Bean tries to secretly vlog during the filming, but he gets fired on the spot. Still, with no money, he decides to keep walking towards his destination. Just when Bean is starting to lose hope, he sees a car approaching from afar. Could it be? Yes, it's his beloved green Mini. This brings him immense joy as he admires its beauty. And who is driving this beauty? It's the actress he saved early from the movie set. And it just so happens she is going to Cannes for a movie premiere that she's starring in. Her name is actually Sabine, just like Bean. She's actually very sweet towards Bean, and she actually understands his weirdness in a sense and does not judge him for it. He kinda hit the lottery with her. Similar names, same taste in cars, and Mr. Bean has that chivalrous charm from saving her earlier. Irma must be really sweating right about now because Mr. Bean is about to leave her for a beautiful French actress. And so the journey to Cannes is finally back on track. On a bathroom break, Bean reunites with Stepan and they have an emotional reunion, and Sabine decides to bring him along. Because of the language barrier between the three, Sabine thinks Mr. Bean is Stepan's father, but Stepan thinks that Sabine is Mr. Bean's wife. Since it's such a long road trip, Sabine falls asleep at the wheel, but Bean, being such a gentleman, decides to drive them all the way to Cannes himself. The way he tries to stay awake is hilarious. He tries to slap himself, burn his fingers, and the method that worked is using toothpicks to keep his eyes open. After a turbulent journey full of unfortunate events, Bean finally makes it to Cannes, and Sabine is so happy that they drove during the night. And at this point, he's really just thinking about dumping Irma and just moving to France. The determination Bean has to reach his goal is truly admirable at this point. Before Bean can truly enjoy his vacation on the beach, Sabine remembers she is late for a premiere and brings Bean along. However, behind the scenes, things weren't going so well after all. At a gas station, Sabine finds out the truth on the news. The media thinks that Bean kidnapped the son of the Cannes Film Festival jury member, and that there's actually a national manhunt for him. The broadcast also revealed that Sabine is an accomplice to him, which makes her furious. She decides to bring them to the festival where the boy's father is, but to avoid the police, they wear hilarious disguises. When Carson Clay's film begins, it looks awful. Not only is he the director, but also the main actor, producer, and writer in his own movie, and none of the audience members seem to be enjoying it. His movie looks on par as The Room by Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Just look at this opening scene. Bean sneaks in past security to find Stepan's father, but when he sees that he cut out Sabine's short part in the film, he decides to take matters into his own hands. He goes into the projection room and plays all the clips of Sabine he has. When Carson's monologue about beauty and love is overlaid with the footage of Sabine, it surprisingly fits well, but it makes Carson furious. He tries to find Bean but can't manage to find him or stop the projector from playing. Bean stumbles onto the stage and gets a standing ovation from the crowd. But Stepan's father is there and he yells for his son, who then appears from nowhere like a shiny Pokemon. The whole crowd stands up, and to Carson's surprise, everyone is cheering at the movie they think he made. But we all know Bean is a true artiste. Willem Dafoe now becomes Willem the Friend and kisses Bean. Carson just goes with the flow and claims that this was his original movie all along. And now finally, after a huge adventure full of unfortunate events, Bean sees the beach he's been longing for so long. The way he walks down every step flawlessly, which aligns perfectly for him after so many things didn't go his way throughout the film, is beautiful. Every time I see this scene, it makes me a little emotional with the song La Mer by Charles Trenet, which fits this scene beautifully. He's finally on the beach and having fun, joined with Stepan and Sabine, who also made it. It's actually so fun to see how Bean's vlogging style is so well received and is even being copied by Carson and the media. What a beautiful ending for Mr. Bean's Holiday. This is one of my all-time favorite comedy movies to rewatch. It doesn't pretend to be a dramatic or thought-provoking film. It knows exactly what type of movie it is. A simple, light-hearted, funny movie that makes you laugh and that you can rewatch whenever you're bored. That being said, you still need to be a fan of Mr. Bean type humor. If you didn't enjoy the original Mr. Bean slapstick comedy style, you most likely won't find this movie funny or enjoyable at all. Some people may find Mr. Bean's personality as off-putting, cringy, and repetitive due to his childish, nonsensical behavior, but like any type of comedy, it is completely subjective. I love his type of physical comedy, but you may not, which is completely okay. There could even be an argument that Mr. Bean acts more like an idiot in this film compared to the original, where he wasn't really an idiot, but just saw things in a different way. Which is kind of true in some instances in this film, but I think that him acting more reckless and irresponsible makes some scenes even funnier. The film adds an extra layer of secondary characters and more dialogue than the original, which I really like. It's one of those films that you'll remember for a very long time. The comedy never diminishes, whether it's in a silly or sentimental scene, and the casting was also perfect. Like always, everything with Atkinson is just pure gold. Even when he reenacts some gags over and over again, it always makes me smile and laugh. Overall, every character in this film gave a great performance. This film also has an incredible message. One thing Mr. Bean taught me is that it's never about your final destination, but about the journey you take. I love how throughout the movie, Bean went through so many different obstacles to reach Cannes, and every time he moved one step forward, he moved 2 steps back. Despite losing all of his stuff, having bad luck, and becoming France's most wanted child abductor, he still followed his goal with just some determination and a camera. And when he finally reached the beach, you can't help but feel so happy for him. On his journey, he made new friends and learned so many new lessons. This is such a good message that anyone can relate to, whether you're in school trying to get a degree, on a workout regimen, or trying to start your own business. It's important to always have fun and enjoy the journey, just like Mr. Bean showed us. This film is also gorgeous to look at, especially the color choices in the French countryside. The movie is shot in a subtle yellow tint, which gives the vibes of joyfulness and it gives a feeling of nostalgia. Maybe it's because I grew up watching this movie so many times, but something about the beautiful French landscapes makes me feel like I grew up there. An interesting feature of this film that I enjoyed is seeing events take place through the lens of his video camera. During his adventure, Mr. Bean essentially loses all of his material possessions except his camera. It's the only thing that survived. Including the POV shots in the movie makes the story more realistic and gives the audience a view from Mr. Bean's perspective, and also makes the audience feel like they're on the trip with him. The next shot following the POV often showcases Bean's reaction to the events, which shows the feeling and emotional state he is going through. Also, the soundtrack was amazing. It has a wonderful uplifting European vibe to it, and adds so much to every scene. This movie is also hilarious. I covered some of my favorite funny moments from the film, but there are so many small details that will make you laugh that you just have to watch the full film yourself to truly enjoy it. I love that throughout the whole movie, Mr. Bean pretends to be Spanish for some reason and says gracias to everything.
You speak very good French.
Gracias. Gracias. Wait, gracias. Gracias.
I don't think he even knows they speak French in France. And because of the diversity of the cast, the conversations and interactions the main characters have, it can lead to some pretty interesting scenes. But I like that the movie acknowledges this language barrier between them, unlike other movies which assume that everyone just speaks English, which is completely not realistic. Lastly, something I enjoyed noticing is that if you pay close attention, you notice that every character has cameos throughout the movie. For example, how Sabine is in Mr. Bean's vlog for a second at the beginning of the film, or when the French waiter is one of the wrong number Bean calls. That said, I don't have any negatives about this film. It is perfect. One thing I wish they did is to incorporate more of the deleted scenes in the final cut. If you haven't watched these cutscenes yet, you should check them out on YouTube. Some of them were hilarious, but I don't want to spoil them for you. Oh, and also, it would have been nice to incorporate Teddy. I miss Teddy. Thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that you enjoy Mr. Bean's Holiday as much as I do. If this video gets enough views and likes, I'll review the other Bean movie. Comment down below your thoughts on the film and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.